Joining me now is my friend, host of the World News with BK podcast, which is dynamite, my buddy, former Air Force PJ, BK. Okay, BK, we don't have time to talk about your sorry music tonight. I want to know what's up with the UN being surrounded by SIM cards. What do these things do?
Well, so the thing, Jesse, it sounded like really dramatic, right? You know, Secret Service, mysterious communications, foreign nation actors possibly involved. But the thing is, these are what's used mostly by scammers and phishers. So basically, what it is you can, the SIM card in your phone. Everybody's tracking on that, right? You can order those in bulk, take them out, and stick them into this box in which you can control the SIM cards like all at once. So you could send thousands and thousands of phishing text messages like we've all gotten on our phone, and you can overwhelm communications lines really, really quickly. And the crazy thing, it sounds like that's what this is for. They probably would never have even caught this, but it turns out that you remember like a couple of years ago that Marjorie Taylor Greene got swatted and U.S. Senator Rick Scott also got swatted. Well, it turns out they started looking into who did that, and it traced back. They started getting on the tail of this SIM farm in New York, because if they hadn't launched those swatting calls, who knows what they did? They probably would have just kept scamming away and sending out those text messages. So that's what they do. Interestingly enough, the boxes that you need to be able to put all these SIM cards in are illegal in the United States.
Okay, so I'm assuming this is some left-wing scammer group. Why in the world would you only swat a couple Republicans? That's got to be that, right?
That one would think so. Yeah, I mean, I don't think crime or greed or money illicitly earned has a political party, but maybe they lost their composure, which men often do, and decided to goof around according to their personal political beliefs. And ironically, that's what got the cops pulled onto them, not probably all the massive fraud they're engaging in.
Yeah, you'd never catch me goofing around with my friends. BK, we are hearing a lot of chatter. I know you're hearing it as well from Joe Kent and others about an Al-Qaeda op or wannabe Al-Qaeda op. And obviously everyone knows what Al-Qaeda is. They're famous for loving a splash. That's what they do. They like to make it big and bold. What are you hearing?
I mean, that's kind of news to me. I mean, partially, though, Joe's whole job is going to be kind of intercepting these things as they happen. I mean, Jesse, the bang for the buck seems kind of low on group ops these days. It seems far easier now to get the guy to self-radicalize wherever he is in the world and send him off to spray an AK in some crowded mall. If Joe is onto something, I'm sure they're always trying something. That's way above my pay grade, but that's why Joe's there. He's one of our bros, former Green Beret, former CIA contractor. Dude's been around the block a long time, and he's not one to trifle with non-serious threats. So I'll watch that one for sure.
BK, obviously there's a lot we don't know right now, but breaking up terrorist cells, I'm talking about Antifa terrorist cells. Is this something that's going to be a nightmare that takes 50 years if we dig in? Is this a 6-month op and they're cleaned up? How hard is it to root these people out of society?
It's going to be difficult, Jesse, because first, the big thing in the United States, we are a country with a First Amendment, right? You can go out and protest. You can say horrible things online to each other, to other people. And a lot of these times, a lot of this stuff is covered under the First Amendment. If they want to talk about, going after the government, they can do a lot of these things legally. And so I think what they count on is just their friends going crazy after, again, the way they self-radicalize to me is very similar to like an Islamic terrorist organization, right? They start off looking into it themselves. They find like-minded comrades, and then maybe nothing is said, but maybe they decide to go down and start throwing bricks at the cops. I think it's going to be difficult because a lot of this also is predicated on local crime. The federal government does not really have a jurisdiction if it's just like simple local crime of left-wingers. And we've all seen, Jesse, how these progressive mayors around the city who would nominally be the people in charge of putting them in prison just let them out time after time after again. So unless the government can sort of tie them into conspiracy, then it's difficult. However, I will point out, if you guys want to go look up, San Diego, my hometown, really had the first Antifa convictions, and they got stiff prison sentences because they were able to prove conspiracy. And if you know the San Diego area, that was during that big, huge brawl over by the boardwalk when everybody poured out in the streets, and it got ugly. But one guy at least did get a significant prison sentence by the city of San Diego.
BK, we are doing a crappiest country in the world tournament because we're sensitive people like that. And Sudan is most definitely still in the tournament. Didn't they just have a big old mosque bombing?
Yes, they did. It's just there. It shows no signs of stopping. That mosque bombing, by the way, was in, probably everybody's heard this part of the world, the Darfur region. We remember the big famine they had back in the early 2000s. I mean, those people, it's just a cursed land, man. The two fighters over there, it's a civil war. It's the government army against these, militia groups. And the militia groups pretty much control that Darfur area, except for a few little pockets. I guess that mosque was one of them. And you remember, Jesse, the rules of engagement for United States troops in Iraq as far as mosques. Well, they don't really have those kinds of rules over there. So they don't think twice about lobbing a few missiles, and specifically, by the way, waiting for that prayer service to pop off. So Sudan's a horrible place. I feel really bad for the people there who don't want anything to do with it, but it's these fanatics, and there's nothing that can be done. It's just going to keep going.
Poor friggin' Africa. I'll be honest, BK, there's a lot. Africa is well represented in our tournament, my friend. Well represented.
I believe that. And I want to just throw Seattle itself into the hat of worst places, Jesse, because I'm not. I just went to a gym because I'm up here for some business, and I got a local gym, right? Have you ever been to a gym with hardwood floors?
Oh my gosh!
And
don't
there's
tell
no
me that.
deadlifting allowed. There's no It says on a sign, no deadlifting allowed. I'm like, no wonder. It all makes sense now. The Seattle male pastiness and weakness. It all makes so much sense, Jesse.
Hardwood floors in the gym. You went to a bar class. He is
Never
BK.
seen it. They don't even have mats. It's crazy.
He is BK, host of the World News with BK podcast. I would highly recommend it. Thank you, my brother.
Thanks, brother.